Many of you are familiar with the term rope-a-dope, which was coined by Muhammad Ali. If you're not familiar with it, it had been his strategy for a while, but he told everyone about it after his fight in '74 with George Foreman, where he beat a younger, many thought stronger, faster opponent. Turned out not to be the case, or at least not enough to win the fight. But he said, what I did is I did the rope-a-dope, where I leaned on the ropes, I covered my head, and I just let him wail on me and punch me and punch me and punch me until he punched himself out. He was so tired, he was so exhausted, and then I turned the tables on him and laid him out. It's an incredible story. I don't know if you follow boxing at all or not, but I do a little here and there. The stories of triumph and things are always very exciting. But the notion of letting someone feel like they're winning, like, oh my goodness, I've got this guy on the ropes. We even use that as an idiom in our language. I've got you on the ropes. Well, it might feel like you've got someone on the ropes and they're playing the old rope-a-dope, meaning you're the dope. Well, I hear something like a rope-a-dope and I think of this kind of term when I get to Ezra chapter 4. And I read about how God's enemies seem to have the people of Judah on the ropes. Absolutely. And not just for one round, but for a long time, wailing on them to the point where they can't even fight back or punch back. They're stuck there just protecting themselves in absolute defensive mode. I think of rope-a-dope when I think about how God works even in our hearts, by the way. What is it that we do outside of Christ? We rebel against Him. We run away from Him. We say, Lord, I don't need you. I don't want you. I'll go my own way. I'll make my own righteousness. I will become good enough. I will become kind enough. I will do enough volunteer hours in order to become righteous and stand in your presence. I don't need Jesus. Or people go in the opposite direction. I don't even want Jesus. I'm going to fight against you and punch against you by doing all sorts of wicked things, throwing myself into immorality and fornication and fleshly pursuits. And He often just lets us punch ourselves out. And then we get so tired, I got nothing left. And then it's a one-punch knockout. And you might say, hold on, that's a horrible. Why don't we say instead He picks us up and hugs us and carries us out of the ring? No. The old self, the flesh, the old Calvin, the old Sean, the old Christy who was fighting against him, He knocks right out. In fact, He puts to death. And then out of that rises a new creation. It is a beautiful thing. In fact, there's even shades of this, I think, in that parable that Jesus told about the shepherd who leaves the 99 and he goes after the one who is wandering away. And that lamb is running. Have you ever seen a lamb run? I watch videos of animals a lot on the internet because that's where my joy comes from a lot of the time. And I'll tell you what, a lamb can run. And they just book it and they run. And the shepherd just follows, got the staff, walking along, and knows eventually it's going to run out of steam. It's going to fall over in the hot desert sun. And that's when he's going to come upon it, pick it up, put it on his